We are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Cardi B newest album leaves the top 10 for the Billboard 200 album chart. Okay? Now, if you guys remember, earlier this week, Cardi B, let's be very clear, put out multiple versions of her album again. She put out the Ultimate Edition, which had a bunch of old songs because she was trying to surpass Nicki Minaj, because Nicki Minaj currently has the most weeks in the top 10 for an album for a female rapper. So she was trying to beat out Nicki Minaj, but unfortunately that did not happen. And Am I Delusional album will be at number 14 this week on the Album 200 chart, selling 25,000 and 1,000 in per sales. So she put out multiple versions of her album, and she had the Young Jeezy feature, remember? For Every Time, which only did 33,000 streams, and she only did 1,000 in per sales. Embarrassing. Now, in my opinion, I believe that Titanic Records is probably over Cardi B, in my opinion. Yeah, I know she says she dropping an album next year. I don't feel like Cardi B and Titanic Records are on the same page. I don't think that they're going to tell her, but it giving that they're pushing her out. Reason being, I don't believe that if Cardi B was in good standing with Titanic Records, they would have her flopping like this. First, you did 199,000 first week. Your tour is barely selling out. Let's be very clear. You did 33 streams after, you put out that song with Jeezy and Scratch Off, the Every Time remix. And I just feel like she's not getting a push at all. I feel like they're over Cardi B. She's always knocked up, and to be quite honest, she's a very lazy artist. I mean, it's not like she writes her own music. So to me, it's very clear that they are over Cardi B, and they are going to allow her to flop. They're going to allow her real numbers to show, so that way they can easily push her out. Now, moving on from that, Doja Cat, Scratch Off, and Summer Walker's Go Girl has reached a new peak on Apple Music at number 4. Now, it has garnered some mixed reactions on social media. Some people like the song, some people don't. But I feel like that's pretty good for, a Scratch Off Doja Cat collaboration. But like I said before, in my opinion, I don't believe that Doja Cat completely fit the record, in my opinion. I think the song sounds better if, Doja Cat was not on the song. But Scratch Off did have an issue with the quality of her verse. Now, on Instagram, when the song dropped, she said, I listened and they F my auto-tune up. She probably talking about the singing part on the song. And, to me, I feel like Scratch Off, whether she have auto-tune or not, she's not that great of a singer. But I will say her verse, in my opinion, I still stand by this, was better than Doja Cat's verse. Like I said before, I felt like Doja Cat was just rhyming words together. And it was kind of like her flow or cadence really didn't mesh well with Musty Walker and Scratch Off. But I will say this. This might be a hit for them. I feel like people are going to grow to like the song. I do feel like it's a bop. And I do feel like in the future, possibly in the next few weeks, it could be a top 40 hit for Doja Cat, Scratch Off, and Musty Walker. And to be quite honest, all three of them need a hit. Because Scratch Off and Doja Cat been flopping basically all year. So in my opinion, I feel like they need this record to be successful. If it's not, it's going to look bad. Because them three should be able to chart. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, Cardi B goes off after Off the Cheat posted on Instagram, My kid, LOL, and Cardi B recently gave birth to her fourth child that she had with Stefan Diddy. She tweeted and deleted, "Y'all be thinking it's so damn funny and it's not. It's been over a year and I'm still being harassed and threatened to the point that I feel like my life is in danger. It's all fun and games until it's too late. MFers do anything for attention and it could get real nasty with just one upload. ... Leave me the F alone," okay? So she said basically that Off the Cheat behind the scenes has been threatening her. And this is also what she had to say on Spaces.
Like, yo, this is not normal. You see crime documentaries, you see shit on social media about women getting killed every other day. And on the truth, like it's like I'm a real tough bitch. Like I'm a tough bitch. But you can never there's a difference between being tough and there's a difference between somebody having an unhealthy obsession with you that you have to you gotta be concerned. And I'm really starting to be concerned. And I'm so tired because I want to detach myself from shit. And it's like, it just doesn't stop. And it's like, when does it fucking stop? I try to be nice. I try to contact family. I try to whatever. And it's not working. And I'm so tired. I'm really getting fucking so tired. I don't want to do things that's going to overshadow what I got going on. It's literally a fucking nightmare. And people think it's so fucking funny. It's not funny. It's concerning. Dealing with somebody that fucking does substance and fucking start harassing me. It's not funny. Straight men here. Oh, you motherfuckers should be petty. It's so funny. It's not funny.
So let me know how y'all feel about it. Do you feel like Off the Cheat is harassing Cardi B? Okay. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Cardi B, I do believe he probably is harassing her. But I do feel like Cardi B needs to take accountability because I think she purposely got with Stefan Diddy to get underneath Off the Cheat skin. Remember, I think Off the Cheat has said Stefan Diddy was his favorite football player at one moment in time. So you purposely try to get under his skin, and this is what you're getting. Now, of course, Musty Walker, unfortunately, is getting dragged because her song Stitches has Tori as a writer credit. Okay, so Tori is getting a writing credit for being on the song, and a lot of people are calling Musty Walker a bird, saying, he's in jail. How was he able to get a writing credit? I don't know if she possibly sampled him, because I doubt that he was in the studio when this was being recorded unless she had him on the phone or something. Maybe she called him to get some pointers or some lyrics. But in my opinion, I feel like it doesn't look good for Summer, but a lot of these R&B girls, they do like, Chris Brown and Tori. And there's nothing you could do about that. They're fans of these artists. So I'm not really shocked that she's working with, Tori. She worked with Chris Brown, and I'm sure she's going to work with more problematic men in the future. I think Musty Walker might be a little problematic herself, but I don't understand why people get in an uproar because these R&B girls are fans of these artists. So of course they're going to want to work with them. I don't feel like she's betraying Megan Thee Stallion. People are saying, "Oh, she's betraying Megan." Megan has no loyalty to anybody. Didn't she sleep with her friend's man? So I don't really understand why people think she deserves loyalty. Now, moving on from that, fans are also calling out Monica or Gunica. Reason being is because Monica, who's on tour with Brandy, she says she feels like Chris Breezy is the greatest entertainer that is left here on earth with us. Okay? Now, fans were not happy about this. A fan said Beyonce is alive, Usher is alive, Gaga is alive, Janet is alive, and she fixed her mouth to say this, okay? Now, I feel like everybody can have their difference in opinion. And her man is Chris Brown's manager, let's not forget. But I saw Queen Bee live. I feel like she would be my number one. Because one thing about Beyonce is her mic is on. Okay, she's not lip singing like other artists will do. Okay, and I feel like, you know, amongst her generation, she's the only one left amongst her generation. You know, Usher, he came kind of with, you know, Beyonce's generation, but he's not as relevant as Beyonce. He's not doing a stadium world tour, and he probably never will. Gaga, I like Gaga. I think she's a phenomenal performer. I would put her up there with Queen Bee. I feel like saying Chris Breezy ain't a bad thing. He's just not my number one, but he's a lot of people's number one. Okay. I just feel like when we're talking about Beyonce, I feel like I just like her catalog better. And I'm talking about from Destiny Child's to now. Okay. I don't really listen to Chris Brown's music like that. Okay, I know his music. He definitely has classics under his belt, but I don't listen to his music like on a daily basis or even like that. You know, in my opinion, I don't feel like his catalog, his overall catalog is not stronger than Beyonce's whole catalog. There's nothing that he has put out that's better than the Lemonade album, in my opinion. Not better than Lemonade or the Beyonce album. I'm just, if we gonna compare. But I understand why people pick him because he's a phenomenal performer. Okay, so I don't feel like her having that opinion is wrong. I feel like she wouldn't say Beyonce because Beyonce kind of came up in her era, and Beyonce has surpassed her, so she might feel some type of way. That's why, you know, she got Kelly Rowland open up. I feel like a lot of the women that were popping around the same time as Beyonce when she went solo, they're not going to really give her props like that because she's like the last one that is kind of doing it big. A stadium world tour, selling 400,000 first week, one album of the year. Monica and Brandy will never be able to do that in today's time, okay? 20 years ago, yes. So I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why she didn't give Beyonce props. Now, moving on from that, a lot of fans are speculating that Rihanna has still an issue with Megan Thee Stallion. Now, she recently followed the talented rapper MONALE0 on Instagram, and unfortunately, the hotties are not happy about it because Rihanna had unfollowed Megan Thee Stallion years ago. Okay, and also snatched up that Savage X Fenty deal that she had, and, you know, fans were saying, oh, you know, it expired, but then she gave Gorilla a very big Fenty deal, not obviously right away, but once Gorilla Glue became hot. A hottie member said, I do not like Rihanna at all, okay? Once she started following MONALE0. Now, mind you, MONALE0 is from Houston. Okay, the same place Megan Thee Stallion is from. Now, another fan said, I knew her fans were mentally ill when they claimed Rihanna was working behind the scenes on a smear campaign against Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, so a lot of hottie members feel like Rihanna has some sort of issue towards Megan, mostly because she won't openly show Megan any love, but she's showing Gorilla Glue love. She's shown MONALE0 love, Cardi B love. You know, she's back cool with Nicki Minaj, but she don't really ever acknowledge Megan Thee Stallion. You never see her listening to her music, but she'll listen to TGIF or FTCU by Nicki Minaj. So a lot of fans are like, what's going on? And I've said it before, I don't think Rihanna likes Megan Thee Stallion. I got the real reason behind the scenes on Patreon. But Rihanna is very calculated about how she moves. She did the same thing to Nicki Minaj years ago. Remember when her and Nicki had issues, a lot of people forget, but she would intentionally show love to Nicki Minaj ops. Like, she intentionally started being cool with Remy Ma and showing Remy Ma love, and Remy Ma is a big flop, career on Floppiana. And this was after She came out, the diss track to Nicki Minaj. So I feel like when Rihanna doesn't like somebody, she makes it very subliminally obvious. The same way you can tell she don't fuck with the Kardashians like that. You know, she be like the only A-lister that won't show up to their events. I got the real tea why she don't mess with them either on Patreon. Just did a video on that. But I do think Rihanna don't really fuck with Megan like that. You know, you never see her show Megan love, but she show all the other female rappers love. You know, how you follow MONALE0, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Remy Ma, but you don't follow Megan Thee Stallion. You used to, but you don't follow her. And y'all both signed a Devil Nation. It just doesn't make logical sense. Well, it do once you really know the tea, but it just makes me seem as though she's being intentional. And I think Rihanna is very calculated about how she moves and who she really F with and what she wants the public to see. And the thing is, she can't openly show disdain for Megan because Megan got the sympathy train behind her, but also Camel Face won't be too happy. So it's not like she can say, oh, I don't fuck with that bitch. She can't do that. Now, moving on from that, Stefan Diddy is suing the influencer Chris Griffins over the allegations that basically the influencer is saying that Stefan Diddy tried to essay him, sexual harassment, sexual assault him back in 2023. He did go on multiple different platforms and state this, and Stefan Diddy is taking him to court. It has been reported by TMZ that Stefan Diddy says the influencer not only posted the nonsense allegations to his tens of thousands of followers, but also tagged the NFL and Patriots social media accounts, as well as Uggs, with whom Stefan has sponsorships with. Okay. Now, Chris Griffins has responded and basically with his attorney, and his attorney says that Chris is looking forward to showing the world in court that regardless of the fairy tale fabricated Mr. Diggs' high-priced New York lawyers, he is the victim of Mr. Diggs' unwanted sexual advances and his brother's violent attacks. Let me know how y'all feel about it. And who do you guys believe? I believe the victim, in my opinion. Only reason because this story technically came out in 2023. And you're deciding to sue now because the story kind of blew up. Before you got with Cardi B, people weren't really talking about it like that. But now that you got with Cardi B, people are in your business, and that's why you are suing, because the story kind of blew up. But this came out in 2023 when he posted, you know, text messages and screenshots between you and him. And I also don't believe any man that has 4 children that are around the same age when you got 4 different women knocked up at the same time. I definitely don't believe you either. Okay, because if you can lie to all 4 women, I believe you can lie about a lot of things. No shade. But anyway, let me know how y'all feel about it. I got some very hot tea on Patreon, on Nikki, Sydney Sweeney, Zendaya, Millie, Bobby Brown. Link will be in the description. Have a great day.